Stagflation. We usually hear the words inflation, we hear maybe less the words deflation, but what is stagflation? So stagflation is an economic state where we have both below economic states happening simultaneously. So we need two things. We need one, inflation, and we need no growth. Why do we need these two things? Because usually when we have inflation, this means that the economy is blooming, there is a lot of money, people are spending, and so we could also have a lot of growth. But if we have a combination of inflation and no growth, then we have stagflation. So this is the special thing about it. It's that the economy is like expanding due to the inflation, but it's not growing. And because it's not growing, the revenues that are increasing for companies, they might just increase because the money supply is increasing, the prices are increasing, not because of real growth. We recently heard that in the US, the actual real growth was negative, and they have inflation. So what do they have? Stagflation. Okay, so let's define first inflation. We have two mainstream definitions. Sometimes you'll hear people say it's this thing, and sometimes you'll hear people saying it's that thing. But the more accurate thing is to think about it as an option to have. It just depends on the definition. Some people define it as a price inflation, meaning that prices are getting higher. So they have a basket of goods and they measure what is their price, and then if it's increasing, then this is the percentage of inflation. The problem with this, not that problematic, is that who defines what's in the basket? What if he defined it wrong? Okay, the second definition for inflation, there are like two camps for people who define inflation. The second definition is monetary inflation. Okay, so this is what we have, and let's go through this brief diagram that I have prepared here. So we have a stagflation. We said that we need two things. One is inflation, and growth is low or no growth. So these are the two things that we need. For inflation, we said that we have two definitions. One is the price inflation, where we measure the goods in the basket and we change their weight over time according to what people buy. We have the monetary definition of inflation, which is how much is the money supply growing? How much money do we have? Usually the growth in money supply brings about price inflation, but not always, because if the economy has grown by 3%, then if the money would increase also by 3%, then everything is okay. They both growth at the same time. Okay, when we have periods of big inflations, it's a combination of big monetary supply, just like we have now, and also price increases, which have started recently. Usually, we have also brief periods of deflations or stagflations in the inflation. Okay, so the monetary prices is usually correlated. The monetary money supply and the prices are usually correlated, but it's not always correlated. So it means we could have inflations and the commodities would not necessarily go down. But since 2020, we have a commodity scarce. And also the amount of working age people decreased in China. So basically, up until now, we had 4 decades of disinflation. We didn't really have inflation. And now we have inflation. And we had a combination of no growth, so we had stagflation, but we could come into inflation. Okay, so what is your best hedge, your best defense against stagflation and inflation? So if you don't do anything, if you saved $1,000 a month and you didn't do anything and you have a high inflation, this is not good because you will lose money. The value of money is decreasing in inflation. This is not good. Any fixed rate, any bonds, any fixed rate, cash, whatever is not good to be the one who gives the loan. It might be good to be the one who takes the loan, because you take the loan to buy something, the price of this something is increasing, and the value of the money that you need to pay back is decreasing. So it might be good to be on the side that takes the loan. Stocks are better, but not the best. Why are they not the best in inflationary environment? Because stocks are companies. Companies need to plan for the future. And when your currency is unstable during inflations, it's hard for company to plan for the future. It's hard to deal with these big numbers for the future when your currency is unstable. So stocks are better, but not perfect. So stocks gives you moderate defense against inflation. Real estate and houses are even better than stock. Even better if you have a loan. If you take a fixed rate mortgage against a house, then as we said, you are now the one who is taking the loan. And this means that you are going to pay less for the house because the value of the money is decreasing. And you have something which is appreciating in price, which is the house. The best in stagflation or inflation is industrial commodities, because by definition of inflation, it means that the price of commodities is increasing, not necessarily the housing, could be the housing, but the price of commodities is increasing. However, it's volatile. So if you start investing in industrial commodities like nickel, uranium, oil, gold, etc., then it could be volatile. It could be go down, up, but this historically and is the definition of inflation. So this price should go up. This is the best. Gold is also good for inflation, and also for periods of slow growth when you have the stagflation combination. Okay, so I think this is it. We went through what is inflation, what is stagflation, the current state we are at, and what is the best investment to go through in stagflation. Okay. Yeah. So this is it. Basically, the best book that I found over understanding the current state of the economy is The Changing World Order. You can see more details.